Hi, this is Clark Gillies from the New York Islanders. You're listening to the S&D Podcast Show. Go get them, boys.
Welcome to episode 63 of the S&D Podcast Show on the Schmuck Sports Network. What's going on this week, Dan?
Not much. How's it going? Unfortunately, football season is over. Well, thank God the Super Bowl is over. It was a mercy kill.
And like my dad was telling us, like Francesca said, February, toughest month in the world.
Yeah.
Plus 2 weeks off of 16 days of no hockey.
But at least we got the Olympic hockey to talk about. I'm sure there'll be some drama fulfilling. Hopefully the USA, even though they're very big underdogs, not a lot of people like how they built the team. It's going to be interesting to see how Team USA can hopefully carry the magical dream that they had 4 years ago.
I do want to point out that Steven Stamkos announced that he will not play in the Olympics, which I respect that decision of choosing his career and NHL team over his country.
Yes, 100%.
How many players don't do that?
It's definitely a tough decision, and you see a lot of players right now in the NHL. Just to name a few, Datsuk is the biggest one off the top of the head, who's been hurt a lot of this year, is going to fight.
And just came back.
But honestly, with Datsuk, I can understand it's his home country.
Right, but Stamkos is from Canada. You want to play for Canada.
I know. A little bit. I'm sure it's a little bit more sweeter. You just got to commend him for that. He made the right decision. His leg was also broken.
The difference between Datsuk and Stamkos, I think, could also be age. Stamkos is a lot younger. He'll play in the Olympics again. Who knows where Datsuk's going to be in 4 years.
Exactly. And another thing that's also coming in February is pitchers and catchers.
Most of the Mets are already there.
That's already a good sign, but we all know that means nothing for the Mets. But we'll see what happens with spring training. Hopefully we take care of what they have to do.
Let's get out of spring training healthy. How about that idea?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. But right now, we're going to go play a little more Division 1.1 with a vengeance. Just so everybody knows, they did post an advertisement about beginning sometime in March that their new album should be releasing. So make sure to look out for that. But tonight's song is With a Vengeance by Division 1.1, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the S&D Podcast. You just listened to With a Vengeance, tonight's song from Division 1.1. Steven, where do you want to start with the Super Bowl? It was a ugly 43-8 game, which the Seattle Seahawks blew out the Denver Broncos. It was one of those shocking games. You know this game was going to be weird from the get-go when Peyton Manning messed up the snap and got a safety. What was your thoughts with the start of the game with the safety?
It was loud. I heard it. Like you heard it on TV. It sounded loud there. And you started to think, okay, can this play a factor the whole game? You heard the Seattle fans.
Yeah.
And you can't say it was the stadium because it's a completely different stadium compared to what they play in.
You knew it was a momentum changer. You know, though, you have those Super Bowl moments like when the Saints won on the onside kick when they didn't have to.
The halftime onside kick.
Yeah. You had that feeling when the Seahawks, granted they have the best D in the league, but they decided to give Denver the ball first. Like, that was the epitome of what Pete Carroll is. He doesn't care. He will go against the grain during any situation. He will go against the grain. Especially going with a best offense of all time kind of thing. You give him the ball first. That had to amp up your team, which it ultimately did. It had to amp up your team. Like, okay, coach believes in us kind of thing. Let's show the world that we are the best defense and arguably the greatest defense of all time and shut down the top-rated offense in the league. Maybe history kind of thing, stat-wise. And that was very impressive with me. And the minute that safety happened, you're like, okay, all right, this game's going to be a little weird. Granted, the Seahawks didn't capitalize on touchdowns early in the game, but you still felt it was out of reach. And Peyton just looked out of sync. It must have been the Seahawks just had his number, just like how the Giants of years past had Brady's number. Just being able to hit him, getting off the mark and everything like that. It was very impressive. I know we both had the Broncos winning, but we thought it was going to be a close game. If you said the Seahawks were going to win, we wouldn't have been shocked. But from the get-go, it was just really impressive. Just they put on the bang thing. They just destroyed them. Malcolm Smith, a 7th-round draft pick, winning the MVP of the game. Do you think that was the right call? I thought it was.
Yeah, he had that momentum touchdown that basically won them the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, I believe that.
Like, it was just one of those, like, wow, we're really seeing a blowout right now. And then the minute Percy Harvin took it to the house, after the best part of the Super Bowl was the halftime show by Bruno Mars. But it was just amazing to see just how Percy Harvin, he only had the ball, touched the ball 8 times the whole entire season. And you just show how much of a game changer he really was. It was very interesting why Prater kicked the ball so short. It was very weird.
It looked like one of those pop-up kicks that they wanted to try and see if they could recover.
Yeah.
Or try and get like a front guy catch it. Yeah. Type thing where they can hit him.
Yeah.
But it just
didn't happen that way.
It would have been smarter just to kick it off.
It was just one of those just weird games. If you saw the stats and you didn't see who was winning, you definitely thought the Broncos, who had the lead kind of thing, was kind of a close game, especially seeing how good the stats were for Demaryius Thomas with the Super Bowl record in receptions.
With a separated shoulder.
With
the
separated
Chancellor
shoulder.
hit. Yeah.
And with that's the Legion of Boom. Like, every time a receiver caught the ball, they got lit up every time.
They got hit.
They got hit hard.
That's why you have the defense on the field first, though. For a team like that.
Absolutely.
If it's the Broncos, it's the other way around. They wouldn't toss. They're getting the ball.
Of course.
They don't want to put the defense.
Obviously, no one's going to say that, and obviously with Peyton Manning, you're not going to say it. But deep down inside, the Broncos were like, "Oh shit!"
Oh yeah, no question about it. And you know what? All the trash talk they gave to Richard Sherman about after the NFC Championship game, the way he acted, what his response and talking after this game about how much of a class act Peyton is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just shows the type of person Richard Sherman really is.
Oh, Richard Sherman, he is. It's a good way of putting it. He's not a quote unquote thug, because thugs are people who do stupid things and get arrested and do all that other nonsense. Richard Sherman's more of a jerk kind of thing. Like, if he was on your team, you love him. He knows what he's doing. He's an agitator. He's an enforcer kind of thing. Like, it's like hockey players. Every team has that one guy that the other teams can't stand, but if he's on your team, you're going to love. And that's Richard Sherman for you. And I kind of agreed with him. I know I didn't say that last week, but after looking at the game, watching the game and everything like that, and being able to take in what I saw, the NFC Championship game with the 49ers was their Super Bowl. 100%. Just the way both teams played and left everything on the line got the Seahawks ready to go for the Super Bowl. And they were able to get 2 weeks to prepare the best offense. And honestly, you got to give the hats off to the scheming and the defensive play calling and everything to Pete Carroll and their defensive coordinators for stepping that up turned it up extra notch.
Pete Carroll wins.
He's a winner, simple as that. And that was another thing, was a crazy stat that never happened in a Super Bowl that I wanted to mention as well. They were the first team ever to score a punt return.
Yeah.
Oh, a return of a kick or a punt, a safety, a interception for a touchdown. They scored every possible way that night.
Right. Also had a rushing touchdown and 2 passing touchdowns.
They scored every possible way manageable. That's just unheard of.
And honestly, looking at the stats of the Seahawks, there was really nobody else to give the MVP.
Oh, no, 100%. Like, honestly,
the only other argument you would have would be Doug Baldwin, who had 5 for 66 and a touchdown.
No one on the offense should have won it unless you give it to Percy Harvin for the obvious kick return. But it should have gone to the whole defense of the whole Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, basically it was going to the entire defensive system for the Seahawks, but they just had to give it to one guy, so they gave it to the one guy who had a touchdown.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what happened. I'm kind of shocked that, honestly, Cliff Averill should have won it with just the way he just hit Peyton. Every time you saw Peyton got his happy feet. He got the Manning happy feet when him or Eli get hit hard and keep on getting hit. They both get happy feet.
But you could have also said Cam Chancellor.
Oh, of course.
5 tackles
Bam,
and a
bam.
pick. And he set the momentum.
Oh, of course.
When the Broncos got the ball back, the first play, I think it was, he hit him. And he hit Demarius hard.
Oh, yeah. Well, separated his shoulder.
Okay. Now, I want to change gears a little bit. Let's stick with football.
Okay. By the way, how did we do, before you changed the topic, how did we do for our award ceremonies?
You went, I think you went better than, I think you had 2, and that was about it. I still can't believe none of us, I texted you and said, I can't believe none of us talked about Ron Rivera.
Yeah, I know. I think we were going with the sexier picks.
He was one of them, though.
I know he was one of them. I went with Pete Carroll, and who did you guys go with? Let me check that real quick.
I went with Fox just because of the Broncos being the best team in the
so
AFC.
we both went with the Super Bowl, and he went with Belichick rank. So you couldn't knock our he couldn't knock our thing.
Okay. There has been a dynasty, basically. In the 60s, there were the Packers.
Okay.
In the 70s, the Steelers, of course. The 80s were the Niners. The 90s were the Cowboys, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2000s were the Patriots. So basically, every 10 years, there's one dynasty.
Okay.
In the salary cap era, can the Seahawks become the dynasty of the 2010s?
Honestly, no. And here's why. With the age of free agency, I know they'll have a couple more years of everybody being on the same team.
Well, think about this. Thomas and Sherman are both free agents next year. Earl Thomas.
They're going to have to find a way to...
And then after next year, Russell Wilson's got to get paid.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. They're not going to be able to pay everybody. And it's going to be very interesting on who they want to keep.
Well,
and it's going to be interesting who they draft. This is when the drafting gets really interesting because you are the last pick. And obviously there's a lot of talent, obviously. But you're not getting that top 15 caliber of picks. That's how they got the Richard Shermans of the world and all those other players. It's going to be there isn't any more dynasty because of the free agency and salary cap era. And that's what happens when you win championships. And the Giants were a key contributor why we sucked this year. It was because we're finally weeding out the players from the first Super Bowl that got paid. And now that the Giants are able to rebuild the key players that they want to keep and get rid of the quote-unquote dead wood, so to speak, kind of things, it takes a couple years. And unfortunately, last year, the Ravens got rid of everybody because of free agency, retirement, everything like that. Every year, of course, there's shots for them to come back and win, but I don't think they'll be a dynasty for the sure fact that they are going to be the hunted next year. This year, they were the hunters. Next year coming up, they're going to be the hunted. And with their division, with the 49ers, with the Cardinals, and even with the Rams, if they draft right or they get great draft picks and they get it right, they could be they might not even win their division next year. That's how good their division is. Of course, they're penciled in to win the division because obviously they won the Super Bowl and they have the best shot to win. But they're not technically automatically a pencil in to win the actual division. Each year is different, so I'm not going to say yes with the whole dynasty. What do you think?
I think they can be. I think with the way Pete Carroll is, he showed at USC, there have been years where it's been nothing but a quarterback that he's brought in there. And then that year you'll find out all these names of players that become good. And I think that Pete Carroll will win because that's what he does. He wins. Pete Carroll wins. And he keeps winning and winning and winning and winning, and that's what it is. And I just think that he's such a player coach that he will end up winning. And I see at least 2 more championships in the next 10 years.
2 more?
In the next 10 years.
Okay, maybe. It really depends on everything, on how...
If everything falls into place correctly...
They can absolutely do that, 100%. But I don't feel that. Because it's just so hard to repeat, and it takes so much out of you to win the first Super Bowl, and the people are looking to get you next year. It's going to be a lot tougher for the Seahawks to clinch it. But just to get it to the Super Bowl again, it's going to be tough for them because there's always there's always breaks.
Who's going to be the sexier pick next year, the Seahawks or the Niners?
Right now, it's going to be obviously the Seahawks, but honestly, let's see what happens. It's another Cold War. You saw how everybody reacted in the offseason with the moves against each other. It's going to be very interesting to see.
I'm excited for that.
That's going to be fun. It's going to be the rivalry for the next decade, as long as Kaepernick and
Wilson are the quarterbacks.
Wilson is the quarterback, and the Legion of Boom stays half intact. I'm excited.
I can't wait.
Unfortunately, on a sad note, the football season's wrapping up, and we want to give our final respects to what was the 2013 season. Well, a lot of ups and downs, Steve. A lot of ups and downs, especially for our New York Football Giants. But
it was weird.
It was just one of those weird seasons. A lot of Jets were 8-8. Congrats to them on that. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. I can't wait to do draft prep for the show in a few weeks.
Yeah,
start doing that.
We definitely got to start working on that. But right now, there are two pretty up and down basketball teams that we need to talk about.
Like a yo-yo.
Like a yo-yo.
Well, anyway, rest in peace, 2013 football season. Congrats to the Seattle Seahawks, and see you in 2014.
Best of luck to all those teams.
Yes.
SND Podcast is in no way affiliated with, associated with, produced, or endorsed by the National Football League or any of its affiliates.
With a vengeance!
Welcome back to episode 63 of the S&D Podcast Show. Let's talk about basketball right now, Dan.
Absolutely. Both teams they're still doing the up and down yo-yo routine, but the Nets are still playing a little bit better right now.
Can I just state something for the Nets? When you look at their team stats, that Brook Lopez still leads the team in points per game and 20.7, and Joe Johnson's next with 15.6.
Yeah, it just shows how good Brook Lopez is. How good Brook Lopez is at the moment. Unfortunately, he could never stay healthy, but that just shows how much of a team the Brooklyn Nets are trying to be. They're not, their main focal point isn't one guy. It's a team concept, unlike the Knicks at the moment right now with that. It just goes to show you how those things work out for it. And like the Nets are just finding ways to like get wins, and it might not be the best quality players around right now, but I mean quality teams that they're playing, but they're taking care of the teams that they can be, like the 76ers the other night. And
they only lost by 1 on Saturday to the Pacers.
They only lost 1-1 by the Pacers, and didn't they got
lost blown out to OKC.
Yeah, they got blown out by OKC, but everybody's getting blown out by OKC. That's just how it is at the moment. With the way Durant is playing, granted Durant didn't score over 30 points against them.
26.
But it was more to the fact because they went to rest him, unlike him having to play 45 minutes. So you got to give the Nets credit. They're hanging around. They're still in second place right now, but honestly, the way they've been playing, they're 4 games out against the Raptors. They can easily get it going. It's scary that the Raptors are the only team above 500 right now in the Atlantic Division right now, but it's just one of those scary things. The next matchup is tomorrow on Thursday against the Spurs. That's going to be a tough one.
One thing, I think it was Evan Roberts who brought it up. The Nets want to be a good team. Go out and beat the Spurs.
Exactly. This is where
the Spurs are known for losing against the good teams this year. Like recently, they have a loss against the Bulls, the Rockets, the Heat, OKC, Portland, and even the Knicks. They have lost to in the month of January.
But that's how the Spurs are. They wait until the last minute during playoff time to heat it up. So you got to take everything the Spurs do with a grain of salt, because that's how Popovich runs things. But
plus, who knows who's going to play, because they're playing tonight. So for all you know, everybody's going to be out for the Spurs.
Exactly. But this week coming up, until our next recording, they play the Spurs on Thursday. Then they go from home to Detroit. Then they play New Orleans
at home.
They got a nice little home. Three out of the next 4 games are at home, and then on Wednesday night is against Charlotte.
And then they got a tough little road swing at Chicago, at Utah.
Yeah, their West Coast trip is coming up after that little
Utah,
nice
Lakers,
3 out of
Portland,
4
and
home.
Denver.
They could definitely do work in that West Coast swing.
Portland's struggling right now. The Lakers, I think it was Adam Rank last week who said somebody told him the Lakers may be the worst team of basketball.
Yeah, definitely not happening. They're definitely not the worst team. They're just not. Well, when they played the Knicks, the Knicks looked good, and that's all you got to say with that right now. With that, the way the Knicks have been playing as of late, this whole entire season. You just got to keep it going. You just got to stay healthy and rest those old bodies that the Nets have. But before we know it, the Nets are going to be able to take the lead in the division. It pains me to say it, but it's just facts. It's just a matter of time for them to find a way to get the division lead.
They got to beat the Raptors, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, good point. Raptors are the only team that's other than
seems to be able to beat them
with ease, other than the Pacers and the Thunder, of course, as of late. But they were one of the hottest teams in the whole month of January. They hope to continue that hot streak into February and make that playoff push in March and April.
Give me 3 out of 4 coming up.
Yeah, they need to get 3 out of 4 before the West Coast trip. You know the West.
Well, it's the 3 out of 4 at home.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Then they go to Chicago, and then I believe it's the All-Star break before they hit the West Coast trip.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Good point.
Next weekend, the 14th, 15th, 16th, I believe, is the All-Star game.
Good point. Touche. All right. You're right on that.
So they're getting a nice little rest. But
only one player is participating in that whole weekend, so the whole team should be able to go.
You got 5 games before the All-Star break. Give me 3 wins going into it.
Absolutely.
You take 3 out of 5.
Absolutely.
But, of course, there's that other team that only has 1 player.
The other team that has 1 player, the New York Knicks, still 10 games under 500. They got to pick it up a little bit more. They're on a couple game losing streak right now. And let's see. I'm doing my Mike Francesa impression. They're so hot and cold. Let's see. Before the last 2 game losing streak, and that's not including tonight's game. Either they're gonna win or lose, whatever, against Portland. They won 4 in a row. Fun. They're so inconsistent, and it's you don't know where to pinpoint it. Other than Carmelo Anthony being the main focal point, doing all the scoring and everything like that, J.R. Smith has been playing well as of late. He's finally getting hot. Let's see how long that can withstand. But honestly, the Knicks are the Knicks right now, and as much as I hate to say it, they can't do anything other than what they're doing right now, and it's just really sad to see. They are just not able to gel. They can't get out of neutral. That's what I'm trying to say. They'll go fast and get to that red light, and they'll stall for a couple of games. Then they'll finally get that boost, and then they'll go and stop and go and stop and go. Pretty much like Manhattan traffic. You never know which way you're going to get.
I heard a report today on The Fan. I forgot who was talking about it. It may have been Evan Roberts and...
Joe Binning?
No, Binning was off this week.
Oh, okay.
Who's the sports guy? 20 the update guy. The morning... Recco.
Okay.
Reports are that if they don't become consistent between now and the All-Star game, Woodson's fired during the break. Do you agree?
No, I disagree because he would have been fired already.
For all the times he should have been fired already?
Yeah, it's like the 10th time he should have been fired.
Well, what do they have before the break? Let's see. Tonight at home against Portland.
Then Denver.
Denver at home. At OKC, so you got a loss.
Yikes.
And then home against the Kings.
Sunday, our first weekend of football. That football is going to be in butt kicking, watching the Knicks get killed. Sweet.
So, yeah. Even at OKC, so it's going to make it even worse.
Watch, that'll be the game the Knicks win.
Before the break? That'll be the only game they win before the break?
Yeah, no, they could beat Sacramento.
4 games before the break, including tonight, including while we record on
Hopefully
Wednesday.
they win tonight. Or I'm not going to predict tonight because it's already happening.
Okay, so
and
3
for
games.
all we
left.
know, Carmelo, God forbid, knocking on wood, has hurt himself or something stupid like that. But yeah, it would be nice. Denver is a very good team since it's half our old team.
But they're all hurt.
Yeah, they are all hurt.
Chandler's out. Robinson's out. They both tore their ACLs.
I expect them to beat the Kings. That's the only real game.
So one game before the break, you expect to win.
But knowing the Knicks, they'll find a way to beat OKC. That's just how the Knicks are.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. They already announced Kenyon Martin's out this week, probably out till after the break.
What a mess. He's been so injury prone this year. It's just the age is coming through to see with the Knicks. It's just killing the Knicks this year. Him and Stoudemire, neither of them have been healthy the last month, and it's really sad to see. Both hardworking players.
Well, Stoudemire, they basically put on the bench. Do you think it was more of a let's save him for later on move?
Yeah, but what happens is we're 10 games under 500, and we need to get out of that hole to make it to the playoffs.
He is playing tonight.
He is playing tonight.
He has 2 minutes so far tonight, 0 for 2 from the field with a rebound.
Okay.
And they are currently, with 2 minutes left in the first, down 23-16, and Melo's got 9.
And see,
And Felton's got 5.
See, that's what's frustrating. Melo's arguably on his hottest streak in his whole career. And the Knicks are not taking full advantage of that right now. And he won Player of the Month of January.
They don't have the players around him to take advantage of him being hot. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And they can't afford to put players around him.
Yep.
I think this offseason, though, because I believe it's this year he's a free agent.
Yes, he's going to opt out. He's going to do Thomas Vanek.
I can see it being like Darren Williams, where it'll come to that first day you could sign people. He's going to be the recruiter.
Yeah, well, I would
could
hope
see that.
so. I would hope so.
And then you give him the max contract. And you give whoever else the max contract. But what does Stoudemire got? 2 more years? 1 more year?
Yeah, we're a mess. We have to figure something out.
It may be just time to just buy him out.
Yeah, maybe.
If you only have 2 years left, you might as well just buy him out, right?
But you're not going to. You're really not. As long as he's quote unquote staying healthy, he's a great person on the team to have, kind of thing. And when he is healthy, he's been good on coming off the bench as of late. So you can't knock him. It's just rough breaks. It's like the Rick DiPietro of things. Just awful circumstances. You loved him before he got the contract, the start of the contract, and the minute he got hurt, forget it, kind of thing. You're just frustrated that one guy is holding up so much money, but you're not able to use that money because he's hurt all the time, kind of thing. So it is what it is. I wouldn't see the Knicks getting rid of Amari Stoudemire because they would take a big cap hit for that. So I believe they already used their amnesty with Chauncey Billups a few years back. So that's that. So they don't have that luxury. Before the last lockout, everybody was able to get one amnesty.
Right.
And the Knicks already used it with Chauncey Billups, so they don't have that protected. So they'll cost them a pretty penny if they cut Amari Stoudemire. So it's pretty much worth having him on the team and try to get something out of it, and not paying him to do absolutely nothing.
I agree with that. But you did bring up Thomas Vanek, so let's go play a little more with a vengeance. And we'll be right back to talk some hockey.
SNDPODCAST is in no way affiliated with, associated with, produced, or endorsed by the National Basketball Association or any of its affiliates.
Alright, welcome back to the SMD podcast. Of course, that was just With a Vengeance by Division 1.1. Like we mentioned throughout the whole show, that it is the song of the night from Division 1.1. Let's talk a little pond hockey right now. The New York Rangers, we'll start off with the New York Rangers. They are the hottest team in New York right now. They are having on a 4-game winning streak. Their offense is clicking at the moment, completely clicking. Other than the Islander game at Yankee Stadium, that was the only game that they did not score more than 2 goals. And they scored 2 goals. They won 2-1 that night. The Rangers are finally clicking at all cylinders. Henrik Lundqvist is playing awesome hockey right now. Other than the double game, which he let up 3 goals, he's only given up 1 goal per night, 3 out of the last 4 games. So that's really great to see. The Rangers' defense is playing fantastic. They're getting secondary scoring, which they've needed for a very long time. Rick Nash has slowly been cooling off a little bit, but he's still there when the Rangers have needed him. It's just been the Rangers have been playing great, and they're just ready to click. Unfortunately, the Olympic break is coming at the wrong time for the Rangers. Pretty much, that's how great they've been playing as of late. They took care of the Avalanche in 5-1 last night, and they just had them handily. They get to play the Edmonton Oilers on Thursday night, so that should be another win for the Rangers until they finish the stretch for Olympic break against the heated Pittsburgh Penguins. So the Rangers can definitely win the Edmonton game, but as of right now, the Penguins do have their number. So it's going to be interesting to see to win five. They could ultimately win 5 out of the last 6 games, and that's great to see what the Rangers have, the way they've been playing lately. I could definitely see Cam Talbot play tomorrow just to get things going for Henrik.
I could see that as well, because especially on back-to-backs. Plus
Especially back to back, and that the game is at home against the Oilers. So I think Cam Talbot is definitely going to get the start tomorrow.
I agree 100% with that. He hasn't started, I think, in
a week and a half. About
since before the Stadium Series.
Yeah, the Blues game, I believe he started. Honestly, and it's great to see Captain Callie coming back, scoring 2 goals after the rumors of him might be getting traded picked up a little bit this week. But honestly, the Rangers don't want to kill their whole team mojo if they were to trade Captain Callahan. I highly see that happening. I don't see it. They'll find a way to keep him. It's
kind of like the Island situation with Andrew McDonald. The guy just wants too much money.
Yeah,
I was talking to our good friend Jared today about it. Guys like Dustin Brown.
Yeah.
Plays every game. Doesn't miss a game. Misses maybe 1 or 2 games a year because of injury.
Yeah.
Plays every day. That guy deserves that kind of money.
Yeah.
Callahan, same type of player, but is always hurt. Yeah. And doesn't score 30 goals a year.
Yeah, that's the problem.
He wants goal scorer money. I love Callahan. You know that.
No, I know.
You know my favorite NHL player that isn't an Islander.
No, you're 100% right. It's just going to be one of those things. I don't see the Rangers trading him. They're not going to trade him. Unfortunately, might be asking for too much money, but he is the captain of the team, and they're going to find a way to keep him. I think they're going to find a middle ground between the two, unless the contract for Callahan from another team just gets blown out of the water, and Callahan's going to take the money, obviously, because why wouldn't you, kind of thing. It would be dumb for the Rangers to trade Callahan at this moment, because he is the captain of the team, and he's one of the key nucleuses of this team. The Rangers get their grit from him. Granted, you get the Nash goal scoring and everything like that, and Lundqvist with the but you get the grittiness and the hard tempo and everything from Ryan Callahan. It's going to be interesting to see how he does for the Olympic team, and I don't see it happening. I highly doubt it, because you need the blue-collar guys to win.
You know what I'm upset about? What I'm scared about with hockey is those players like Ryan Callahan and Ryan Miller who are going to the Olympics. They do well. Let's say USA does win the gold, and Ryan Miller goes perfect the whole.
Do you think Ryan Miller's going to be the starting goalie, though?
I'm just using this as an idea.
I know.
Let's say he does. Let's say he is the starting goalie.
A team's going to be stupid enough to take the trade.
Okay. No, not take the trade. But I don't want to see those players come back and say, hey, look what I did in the Olympics. Give me another $1 million.
But you can see that happening.
I can, but I don't want to see that happening.
Oh,
Two different types of hockey.
Yeah, no, it's completely 2 different types of hockey. They're completely different styles. A much bigger rink in the
Olympics.
And it's just different styles. It's Ryan Callahan's obviously a great addition to the USCA team,
of course,
because of his grit. And he's going to be on the main focal point on the PK, and he's going to be the third line center, third or fourth line center. That's going to get you those gritty minutes, unlike other countries have, other than Canada. The whole team's a dream team. This year's Canada team is essentially the 1992 USA basketball team, if you look at it. From top to bottom, unfortunately, Stamkos is not making the team, but from top to bottom, if Canada doesn't win gold, go home. You're not going to be allowed back in Canada, kind of thing.
I forgot where I saw it. I think it was on Twitter, that if you actually look at Canada's team that didn't make it, they'll beat every team in the Olympics.
Exactly. John Tavares is going to be the third line center, right?
It depends now with Stamkos not going.
Well, if originally John Tavares was going to be the third line center, that's all you got to say for that. I know we're a little bit more New York biased because we see John Tavares nightly. I know you do since you watch every Islander game. Me a little less sparingly, but it's just crazy to see that that John Tavares is going to be the third line center, and he would be USA's top line. He would be on most countries' top line, maybe other than Russia, unless you maybe Russia.
I can see Russia.
Russia might be the only other team for him not to be on the top line.
Yeah, I can see that as well.
All right, so the Rangers going to take one out of the next two games. If they find a way to pull out a win against the Penguins, nice win. Penguins haven't been playing too good, but let's be realistic. They'll definitely win tomorrow, and unfortunately lose out on the road on Friday night. I know you have a lot of Big Islander talk, and I'm going to let you vent out like you let me do with the Giants. Take it away, Steve.
All right, this is basically an open letter to Isles Twitter.
Hashtag Isles Twitter?
Hashtag Isles Twitter. And, of course, we got a hashtag Isles Twitter for Andy. Don't forget, Eyes on Isles.
Eyes on Isles for all your Islander insight. Dump and Chase, do they have a nice guest this week? We don't know. Andy doesn't love us anymore.
Andy doesn't love us.
After our nice plug. Thanks, Andy, by the way.
Yeah.
But take it away.
Maybe it was all downhill from the plug.
Maybe. It's not you, it's us. Andy, don't forget that.
Yeah, Andy, it's us.
It's not you.
All right, Isles Twitter. Have you ever heard of the word negotiation? Ever. Once. All it takes is once to hear the word negotiation. The Islanders offered Vanek a contract. He rejected it. Now, Vanek's group of agents and himself get to come back to the Islanders with their portion. Then the Islanders get to go back to him. Back and forth, back and forth. It's called negotiation. Just because he rejected the first contract that he got offered from the team doesn't mean that they're going to trade him. Doesn't mean they won't re-sign him. Doesn't mean anything. It just means that he's going to continue to be an Islander until further notice. They're negotiating. He wants to stay. According to reports, he wants to be an Islander. He likes it here. He's having a good time. Yes, I understand a lot of you don't like him because he's not Matt Molson. Granted, side note, NBC Sports needs to change their graphic because last night they kind of put a Molson picture on him. Anywho, stop.
Breathe. keep going. You're doing good.
Relax yourselves.
You could tell I'm the one used to doing rants because you.
Yep.
All right, keep going.
But Isles Twitter, relax. AMAC, go complain about him. He wants $5 million a year. He is insane. Let's complain about him. That's somebody to complain about. Who the goalie is in the future, that's something to complain about. The way the team plays defense, something to complain about. Why Capuano's still a coach? I know you guys love talking about that, so keep talking about that. But, and don't forget the most important one that you always love to talk about is why Kyle Buss was not on Team USA, because you refuse to get over it. Yes, I'm talking to the one guy who wants to call Congress.
What? There isn't enough things going on with our crappy government right now that he wanted to call our councilman.
Yes.
Why isn't Kyle Poso making the USA team, even though they don't have the any idea what's going on with that? That's funny. All right, that made me laugh.
The joke that everyone kept making with him is, let's just call Obama directly.
Yeah. Thanks, Obama. All right. Anyway, go on. That's funny.
Honestly, Isles Twitter, relax with the Vanek thing. The guy's playing well. He's one of the hottest players in hockey since the middle of December.
47 points right now, 19 goals and 28 assists. That's impressive. They are on the top line. Him, Vanek. Well, obviously, we're talking about Vanek. Him, Oposo, and John Tavares. You can't go wrong with that.
Yes, I agree. When you watch him play, he's lazy. But he's always been that way. He's not a two-way player. He's an offensive player first. And that's what you've been begging for. An offensive player to play with Tavares. Just because he hasn't signed the big contract yet doesn't mean he won't. It's called negotiation. Look it up. That's my rant.
Oh, good job. So, all right, with that being said, who do the Islanders have before the Olympic break?
They play the Flames, which they should win, and the Petrigua Avs.
Okay. So they play the Flames tomorrow night on Thursday night, and then they play the Avs on Saturday night. Okay. So what are you expecting since you're going to be at both games? I'm sure sitting in 329.
I expect at least them to take the game against the Flames. They are not a good team.
Okay.
They also have no goaltending. The Avalanche are a whole nother team.
The way they played against the Rangers,
if
Islanders,
they play that way against the Islanders, I'll be okay with that.
Yeah, the way they played the other night, I think it was one of those they were able to hang out in the city. Did they beat the Devils?
No. They lost to the Devils. No, they beat the Devils in overtime the night before.
Okay.
I apologize.
Okay, so they're looking to go above 500 for the Metropolitan leg of their schedule.
The Avalanche are probably the biggest surprise team. One of, if not one of.
In a good way or a bad way?
In a good way.
Oh wow, they are 36-15. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, I could see that.
And
wow, that makes the Ranger win last night so impressive. Then even more impressive. Okay, wow.
And you remember around draft time we had Andy on and we were talking about that first overall pick, and we kept both him and I both said Seth Jones.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the Avalanche didn't take Seth Jones with the first overall.
Was that
pick.
a good move?
That was probably the best move I've ever seen.
Okay.
They took a kid named Nate McLennan. What's his numbers?
He's 20, 22, and overall that equals up to 42 points.
Yeah, and he's not 19 yet.
He's not even 19 yet? Oh, holy smokes. That's crazy. So he's easily going to win the Rookie of the Year.
As of right now, he's the closest.
Pretty much, if he gets hurt and no one else really does anything, right?
Right.
There isn't anybody that's anywhere near him?
I can't think of anybody.
No. Okay.
The only other person you can argue is Kreider.
Okay. But
4 years in a row.
Compared to McLennan, they're looking at the stats, Kreider is nowhere near him. I know Kreider has his moments, but watching Kreider night in, night out, I'm sure McKinnon is pretty awesome.
McKinnon is incredibly awesome.
20 goals going to Olympic break is pretty impressive.
I'm excited to watch the Islanders Saturday night, but I'm more excited to watch Nate McLennan.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And also, I think it's the first time since they drafted Matt Duchene that I'm actually seeing them live.
Okay.
So I finally get to see him in person.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, considering he was one of the other guys that the Islanders were looking to trade pick when they had the first pick. Thank God they didn't. Obviously, Duchene is a good pick, but John Ferris. But that should be interesting.
Well, don't forget the story of the fact that Stamkos was supposed to go number 2.
Before they play the Islanders, they actually play in Philly.
Yeah, they're on their East Coast trip.
They're in their big East Coast trip. That's so weird that they went to Jersey, Rangers, back to Philly, back to the Islanders. But that's here or there for that.
But then again, they're also then going on an Olympic break. So
yeah, it's just weird. Anyway.
But yeah, they've actually been drafting good. They traded a first-round pick for their goalie, Varlamov. It should be starting for, I believe it's Russia. Should be starting.
As long as he doesn't beat up his girlfriend.
Again.
But
yeah. You want to come to that game and send 329 on Saturday after that. Anywho. Yeah, I mean, they have Duchene, who was a top 3 pick. Landeskog, who was a top 3 pick. Paul Stastny has been playing, I think, forever. And Ryan O'Reilly has 21 goals. Nobody's ever heard of Ryan O'Reilly till this year. I just came out and started playing, basically. And even Max Talbot's having a pretty decent season.
How's our good buddy P.A. Parentard doing?
10-17.
Okay.
He was playing on the line with Duchene and Landeskog, but then Nate McLennan's like, I'm better than you.
Rightfully so. Looking with those stats. But
yeah.
P.A. Parentard is the luckiest son of a gun.
He goes from Tavares to...
Yeah.
He gets paid by Tavares, basically.
Yeah.
And then he goes to play for those guys. They're actually looking to move him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think has 2 years left on his deal, but he's also overpaid.
Gotcha.
So not a lot of teams are going to look to bring him on. I feel like there will be, of course, that one team that will bring him on. But next week, we're going to have a good friend of mine, Matt Seidman, on with us. He's going to join us next week to talk some NHL hockey and also a little bit of the Olympics. So basically go through the first half of the season. We'll also talk some Olympic hockey with him. And also I'm going to get his thoughts on some of the big names that are going to be coming into the trade deadline coming up, including Ryan Callahan and Ryan Miller. So make sure to look out for our show next week, episode 64, with Matt joining us. But let's right now go back to play a little more with A Vengeance, and we'll be right back.
SNDPODCAST is no way affiliated with, associated with, produced, or endorsed by the National Hockey League or any of its affiliates.
And welcome back to episode 63 of the S&D Podcast Show on the Schmuck Sports Network. Division 1.1, make sure to check them out. With the Vengeance was this week's song. New music coming out soon.
Yeah,
I know they had a
can't wait
couple
for that.
previews on their webpage.
Yeah, They're teasing us a little bit.
So check out their Facebook page, of course. Eyes on Isles, like we mentioned.
Eyes
Blue
on
Line
Isles
Station. Thanks to Danny again from last
once
week.
again, we didn't get to mention that during the hockey segment. Thanks again to Danny. Thank you for all your retweets, Danny, and everything like that. We greatly appreciate that. Baseball's right around the corner, so we're starting to slowly get the things going, the ball rolling for baseball season. We know we have a bunch of people that we can get talk Mets and Yankees and overall baseball, so that should be fun as well.
I'm excited for that.
I'm definitely excited for that. But as of right now, unfortunately, we're just starting to get rid of our football minds and getting ready for spring training, which is pitchers and catchers are a block away, a week away. Some teams are actually starting tomorrow. So
Yeah, I think the teams that go to Australia are starting tomorrow.
I think so, yeah.
So I'm excited about baseball season. We're going to have our friend Matt on next week to talk about the NHL. Also, we're in negotiation with our friends from Eyes on Isles and Blue Line Station about a revisit of our NHL preview show, basically, for our mid-season NHL show for Andy and AJ to join us. So hopefully we can get that into works. And we'll make sure to let you guys know next week. Once again, Division 1.1, Eyes on Isles. Don't forget to check us out. Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter. Thanks to all the 1,000+ people who have liked us on Facebook, by the way. We finally hit that milestone. Just keep listening and enjoying the show. Enjoy the week. Best of luck to everybody on Sunday that can't stand it without football.
Oh, man.
And we'll see you guys next week.